I've been wanting to get a new printer to start making larger prints, and recently I got the chance to try out and review the Anycubic Kobra 3 Max. I'll go over the good, the bad, and the weird. Now, this is a huge printer. Recently, Anycubic reached out to me and asked me to try out their Kobra 3 Max combo. So I want to start out by thanking Anycubic for sponsoring this video by providing the printer. I've been using it for a few weeks now and I want to share my thoughts. And this printer might not be for everybody. It really depends on what you want to use it for. Hopefully this video will help you decide if it's right for you. Now let's go back a few weeks when the printer first arrived. I just got the package today. This box is huge. It barely fits on the table. I'm ready to open it up and take a look. I'll go through the unboxing and setup pretty quickly. Since Anycubic does have videos, they do a great job of going through the setup step by step. Plus, I'd rather get to all the fun stuff. The assembly was pretty easy. You should be able to get it up and running in about 30 to 40 minutes. Unless you're also filming everything for a YouTube video while doing so. Then it takes like 2, maybe 3 hours. The base and frame are bolted together to be more secure during shipping, so they need to be separated first. Then attach the frame to the base. Since this is such a huge printer, there's also 2 support rods that need to be attached. Then you attach the print head and connect all the wires. Next is setting up the Ace Pro for multicolor prints. You do need a large space to set up this printer. For the printer, you'll need at least an 18 by 24 inch space, with at least 8 additional inches behind it for the bed movement, and an additional space of at least 14 by 14 inches to the left of the printer for the Ace Pro. After everything is put together and plugged in, it's time to turn it on. Then go through the steps to connect the printer to your Wi-Fi. You will also want to install the Anycubic Slicer app on your computer, as well as the Anycubic app on your phone. Then add your printer to your account. I haven't used it much yet, but I do like the Anycubic Slicer so far. It's very similar to the Bamboo and Orca slicers. Next, I'll load some filament into the Ace Pro. To feed it in easier, you'll want to use snips to cut off the end of the filament at an angle. Now that everything is set up and ready to go, I'm ready to start my first print. When you click on print on the touchscreen, there's a folder with test models. I'll start with the 18-minute benchy. After you select it, just hit print. The first thing I noticed is how long the initial setup takes before the print. I didn't time this one, but on later prints I got it timed for 12 minutes for a small print and 17 minutes for a large print. On large prints it checks 81 points for the auto leveling, but just checks the areas needed for smaller prints. And apparently, the best way to get rid of the filament purge waste is to fling it away from the printer as far as possible. Alright, here we go. I have to say, the speed of this massive bed moving is very impressive. Alright, the 18-minute benchy is done. I want to also print the 53-minute benchy to show you the quality difference. But before I do that, there are 2 things that I want to fix. Since the $60 IKEA table that I got was moving so much while the printer was running, I want to secure it to the wall. It's an easy fix. I just attached it to the wall with 2 brackets. And for the other, I went in for a closer look to analyze and figure out the best solution. And then it hit me. I'll check on Maker Online to see what other people have designed to handle the flying filament purge. There are a lot of options to choose from. For now, I'll try out this one by Cicero 3D. It's a quick print, and it'll just slide on the side without needing any additional screws. If I find something else that works better later on, I'll update that in the video description. Now I will print the 53-minute benchy to compare it with the first. And if you haven't yet, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. It helps me out, and it'll help you find more videos like this one. You can definitely see a difference in quality. There's a lot of stringing on the first one, and there's a huge quality difference in the top layers. Okay, I know what you're thinking. You don't get a huge printer to print tiny benchies. You get it to print a giant one. I want to max out the size and make it as large as possible. This way I can see how well the printer does with such a large print. Plus this will be over 1 kilogram, so I can test out the refill capability of the Ace Pro. And as you can see, I'm using supports when you would normally not use one for a benchy. But at this size, I wouldn't be able to print the huge overhang successfully. This print would have made an awesome time-lapse. Unfortunately, the printer does not come with a camera. Without a camera, I can't get the time-lapse videos, use the AI spaghetti detection, or just check the print on my phone every 5 minutes on this 2-day print. So I ended up buying one. Hopefully it'll come before I post this video so I can try out those features as well. At 24 hours, I did run into an issue on this print. After the first roll finished, the refill feature worked, but I also got a clogged nozzle. I believe this happened because at the end of the first roll, the filament was bent. And unfortunately, since this happened right before I had to leave for my day job, I wasn't able to save the print. Now I'm back home and ready to fix the clog. I do have to say it's easier to remove and replace or clean the nozzle more than any other printer that I've used. The front cover is held on by magnets and it comes right off. Then just flip down the lever to the right of the nozzle and you can pull it right out. I pulled out the clogged filament, then put the nozzle back in, flip the lever back down, and place the front cover back on. Just like that, I'm back up and running again. This time the auto refill worked without clogging. On the second print, we're now at 33 hours. Some of the supports broke, so I'm crossing my fingers that the print will still be successful. And after 48 hours, this giant benchy is done. Last thing is to remove the supports. This thing is huge. I didn't expect I'd love this print as much as I do. Since I have the Ace Pro, I also want to test out a multicolor print. Right now it's October, so I asked my kids to choose some Halloween prints to make. They chose this puppy ghost and these two spiders. I would normally print the ghost separately from the spiders to cut down on the color changes, but for this test print, I want to use all four colors. I right click on the model and I can choose to clone it to add more of each. In the Anycubic slicer, it rearranges them to fit after it adds the additional models. I was able to fit 10 of each to get 30 total. I also add supports to the arms and nose of the puppy ghost. Now I slice the plate. This print will have 319 color changes. It will take about 32 hours for this print. 26 hours for the print time, with an additional 6 hours for fleshing between color changes. The Ace Pro also has a drying feature. Just click on Enable Drying. It'll take about 4 hours, then I can start the print. What's nice is you can also enable drying from the phone app so you can start it at any time. Then make sure the colors from the models match the filaments in the Ace Pro. And we're off. I like how all four tubes connect at the print head. This way the filament only needs to retract about 6 inches when that color is not printed. With my P1S, the filament has to retract all the way back into the AMS. Here it is at 12 hours in. And here at 24 hours. The spiders are done and it just needs to finish the puppy ghosts. The print's done at 32 hours with no issues. I just need to remove the supports on these. And here are the finished models. I used a glow-in-the-dark filament for this one. I'm excited to give these out to trick-or-treaters on Halloween. I just got to print a whole lot more. Alright, after a few weeks of printing, I want to share my thoughts. I'll start with the bad. My main complaint with the printer is the setup time before each print. 17 minutes for large, long prints isn't a big deal, but 12 minutes for small, quick prints does add up. It would also be nice if the printer did come with a camera. It's not just for time-lapse videos. Without it, you lose the AI spaghetti detection feature. Plus, especially with long prints, I like to be able to check my print on my phone. I did just receive the camera in the mail. It's too late for this video, but I'll make sure to go over it in the next one. Now for the good. The obvious feature is the size. I mean, this thing is huge. It's nice to be able to print large things like helmets and not have to worry about cutting them into pieces. You can even do maybe wall art. I mean, it's 16.5 by 16.5 inches on the build plate, so you can make some pretty big stuff. And the advantage of this large build plate is not just for big prints. If you're doing multicolor prints, even if they're small, there's a lot of waste in each color change. So what's nice is you can put a lot more of these on the plate, and you're going to save a lot of time and filament by doing so. Let me show you a comparison between this and my Bamboo P1S. On the Kobra 3 Max, I got 30 models on the plate. On the P1S, I was only able to fit 12. So if you divide the total waste of filament and the total time by the number of models, you can see how the Kobra 3 Max can actually be more efficient. You get about 11 filament changes per model on the Kobra and 27 on the P1S. The total time per model comes to 64 minutes on the Kobra and 80 minutes on the P1S. And then the purge waste comes to 5 grams per model on the Kobra and 10.5 grams on the P1S. If you want to be able to make big prints like this, well, maybe not benchies, but helmets, armor, things like that, I definitely would recommend this printer. It was easy to set up and use. The print quality was good. I did have the issue with the clogged nozzle, but that's happened with every printer I've had. Other than that, this printer did everything it was supposed to do. I put an affiliate link for this printer in the video description. I do earn a small commission, which helps me fund future videos. Plus, you can use my coupon in the video description to save an additional $20. I hope you enjoyed this video and it was helpful for you. If it was, please hit those like and subscribe buttons and check this out next. Thank you for watching.